Have you ever felt completely alone, not in an empty room, but in a crowded one, surrounded by people who seem to connect so easily with each other? You watch others laugh, hug, and make plans, and somewhere deep inside, you find yourself wondering what you are missing. And it is not that you never tried. You did try. Maybe more than people know. But somehow, connections never quite lasted. People drifted. Friendships faded. And slowly, you stopped expecting them to stay. Today, we are going to talk about why that happens, not to make you feel broken, but to help you finally understand yourself. First, having no close friends is far more common than most people will ever admit out loud. Research shows that millions of people feel what psychologists call socially invisible, present in the world, but unseen by it. You are not broken. You are not defective. You are in pain, and there is a significant difference between the two. Most people who end up without close friends did not choose isolation. It came to them, quietly, over many years. It usually begins with an early experience of rejection, a moment when you reached out and were turned away. Maybe you were bullied, mocked, or quietly left out as a child. And that experience planted something deep inside you. It planted a belief, subtle but powerful, that people are not safe. That openness leads to pain. Over time, your nervous system learned to read danger in social situations, even when that danger wasn't there. Psychologists call this hypervigilance. Your guard is always up. And living that way is genuinely exhausting. You might scan for signs that you are not wanted before you even open your mouth. You rehearse conversations. You overthink every word. And when the anxiety gets too loud, retreat feels like the only logical option. So you pull back. Again and again. But here is what makes it a cycle: every time you retreat, your brain registers it as confirmation that the outside world is dangerous. The wall gets a little thicker each time. The gap between you and the world gets a little wider. There is also a quieter reason people end up alone, not fear, but simply never learning how to connect. Social skills are not something you are born with. They are learned, through family, through modeling, through practice. If no one modeled healthy connection for you growing up, you may have simply never learned the rhythms of friendship. You might say something at the wrong moment without knowing why it pushed people away. And never understand what went wrong. This is painful to recognize. But here is something important: it is also fixable. Because skills can be learned at any age. And then there is the personality factor. Some people are simply wired to need less social contact than others. Deep introverts genuinely recharge in silence. Crowds drain them. And in a world that rewards loudness, this can feel like a flaw. But needing less social interaction does not mean you need nothing. The hunger for meaningful connection is still there. Science has shown something striking. Loneliness doesn't just affect the mind, it affects the body at a cellular level. Chronic loneliness raises stress hormones, weakens the immune system, and increases inflammation throughout the body. Your body is not failing you. It is sending you a message. A signal that something essential is missing. Loneliness is a biological alarm, like hunger or thirst. It is not a character flaw. It is your system asking to be fed. And even when you resist connection, you still feel the pull. Late at night. In quiet moments. When something good happens and there is no one to tell. That pull is not weakness. It is proof that you have not completely closed. That some part of you is still waiting. The goal is not to become a social butterfly overnight. That kind of thinking only sets you up to fail. The goal is one honest connection. One person who gets you. That is enough to change everything. Start by noticing, without judgment, the moments when you shut people out. When you cancel. When you go quiet. Those moments are not random. They are patterns. And patterns, once seen, can be interrupted. Ask yourself honestly, what do I actually believe would happen if I let someone in? What am I really protecting myself from? Often, the answer is a very old fear attached to a very old wound, one that belongs to the past, not the present. But the present version of you is stronger than you know. You have survived everything that was meant to break you. Practically speaking, start with low-pressure interactions every single day. A nod. A brief exchange. Consistency over intensity. Shared activities build connection without the pressure of forced conversation. A class. A club. A quiet hobby group. You do not need to explain yourself all at once. Good friendships are built in small moments, not grand revelations. And be patient with yourself when it feels hard. Because it will feel hard. That is normal. That is not failure. You are not behind. You are not less than. You are simply on a different timeline, and that timeline is still unfolding. Your story is not over. This chapter may feel heavy, but it is just one chapter in something much longer. There are people out there who will understand you, not a version of you that performs, but exactly who you already are. And remember this, above everything else, you are not alone in feeling alone. Millions of people are sitting with this same weight tonight.